Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Today we'll be talking about cloud computing mostly. Actually, we are starting a series of cloud. So in this series, we'll be talking about Azure, and we have another series that is going on in which we will be talking about AWS. Introduction to myself, I am Soumya Bhushan and I am currently working as a DevOps consultant at Google. In this particular video, we'll be talking about what is cloud computing, different industries and companies that are leveraging cloud, what are the key benefits, why we should use cloud, different cloud deployment models, cloud services models, and the popular use cases and the major market competitors. So first of all, let's understand what is cloud computing. As you can see, cloud computing is made up of these two words, cloud and computing. So we first understand what is computing, and then we will understand what is cloud, and then we will go through the definition of cloud computing. So computing basically involves servers, uh, storage, databases, and many other things, including networks and all. Accessing these things through internet can be considered as cloud computing. Right. So, according to definition, you can simply say cloud computing is on demand delivery of computing services through cloud. Able to get all those computing services on demand through cloud or internet, you can say. That's what basically is called as cloud computing. So this is the definition of cloud computing, a pay as you go model. Pay as you go model is very important part of cloud computing. Means you are only paying for the things that you are using and for that much of time. Let's say if you want to use 10 servers or 10 VM virtual machines, let's assume 10 servers you want to use for 2 months. After that, you only want to use 5 servers, right? So you need to pay the price of 10 servers for 2 months, and for other 1 month that you are using 5 servers, you don't need to pay the price of these servers. You only need to pay price of 5 servers, right? That's what is basically called as pay as you go model. Now if you don't know like how previously all these stuffs are done in the when cloud computing was not there, then you may not understand. So let me explain you a little bit more. What happened before is basically when a company creating some application, let's assume it's an web application, and a good amount of people are using it. Let's say 5,000 people are using it, and for that it needs 5 servers. Let's assume. So it has created its own data center where it has placed it racks of servers. This company has its own data center, bought some of the servers, bare metal servers. It has some people or some company employees that is basically configuring those servers, or these people are basically responsible to configure these servers. The networking involved, like DNS configuration and all, uh, other security or patches involved in that. So all of these things are being done by these people, right? After that, suddenly the traffic increases. Suddenly that means, let's say after 5,000, now 10,000 people are using that application. So these 5 servers are not enough, to provide the response to all those 10,000 people. So this company has increased the number of servers from 4 to 8. Let's assume that now they have 8 servers, right? They are like maintaining 8 servers. What happened after other 2 months? The number of users has decreased to 6,000 only. Now they don't need these extra servers, right? But still they have bought it, so they need few people to maintain it. They need the like every other configuration, they have already paid for that. So it's almost like the wastage of money, right? For 3 months, or let's say for 2 3 years, they are not using those servers. These servers are degrading with time, so they are almost useless for them. Still they had paid for that. That's not happened with cloud. let's say for if the traffic decreases to 6,000, in that case you have deleted those servers or you don't need those servers. In that case, cloud will not charge you for that, for those servers, and that's what it is called pay as you go model. So you are paying for only those things which you are currently using or which you had created inside your cloud, and uh, for whatever time you are using that. If you are not using it after 1 year or 2 years, then you don't need to pay that. Even in few of the cases, if you are not using after few seconds, you don't need to pay it. You only pay for those number of seconds for which you have used it. So that's how powerful it is, and that's how it is cost effective. So this is very important thing, pay as you go model of cloud. It is very important feature of the cloud computing. Few more. So compute power can be VMs, right? Virtual machines, or in simple word, you can say these are the servers. Databases, if you have heard about non-SQL or SQL databases, or RDBMS, if you have heard about that, MongoDB. So other thing is storage. So storage is simply put is basically where you can store your files, where you can store some images, or if you have some videos, you can store it here, right? For another one is applications. So cloud can provide various applications or services that you can use, and other IT services apart from these. So these are basically different computing services that we were talking about. Now let's talk about the key benefits of using cloud computing. So the first and foremost is, of course, cost effective. How it is cost effective? We have already talked about the pay as you go model. So you are only paying for what you are using. You don't need to manage your data centers. So the cost of maintaining these data center and other hidden costs are being reduced. Another key benefit is basically scalability and elasticity. So let me give you an example. We have already talked about that. Let's say currently your application is serving 5,000 of users. In future, you want it to serve 20,000 of users. For that, you may need to create more servers, or you may need to expand your servers, like the resources of that server. So in that case, basically scalability and elasticity comes in picture. So you can increase the number of servers, which is called as horizontal scaling, or you can just increase the size of that server. That means you can increase the CPU and RAM. That could be memory of your servers, existing server. So let's say the current CPU is 10, you have increases to 50. Like you have increased the size of the CPU, right? Or 20. Okay. So this kind of scaling is called vertical scaling, which is basically you are increasing the resources in the same server. You are not increasing the number of servers. When you are increasing the number of servers, it is called horizontal scaling. So basically scalability is of two types, and elasticity is very similar to that. I am leaving this to you, right? You should give me the difference between these two in the comments. I'll be waiting for that. And if you, and I'll also publishing a small video about the difference between scalability and elasticity. This is a very common terms in which people get confused. So simply put, basically when the number of users or number of requests, you can say, are fluctuating, on the basis of that you basically increase or decrease number of servers or number of databases, anything, any compute, you basically increase and decrease the number of compute or the size of compute, and that is called basically scalability and elasticity. Other key benefit is basically fast. You want to create some servers, right? It will take only few minutes to create those servers. You just need to write some script, or just go to the console of your cloud provider. You'll be able to create those VMs in few seconds or few minutes, right? That is the power of cloud. If you want to create like thousands of servers, There are multiple scripts, kind of scripts that you can use, which can help you to create thousands and thousands of servers within few minutes, like in a very few amount of time, and that's why it is quite fast, right? Another key benefit could be secure. We have already talked about like it work on zero trust policy, and I have already told you like companies like healthcare, financial companies who are very concerned about their data also include cloud, and this basically gives an example of how much secure it is. We'll talk about this security much more when we'll be studying about cloud and Azure and AWS. You can deploy globally. This is a very important term. Deploy globally basically means, let's say you are in India and you want to deploy your server, or let's say your website or your web application is basically being used by users that are in USA or any other region in the world. Like global users are there. So you can create servers in USA region as well. There are multiple regions in which you can create your servers. So you can deploy your servers globally at any place, at any time. In case of disaster recovery, cloud handles it, the things itself. It basically provide high availability of the resources, very less downtime of the resources, and that's why it is quite reliable. Next thing is types of cloud or the deployment models. This is really important to understand. So different types of cloud are basically public cloud. Now, what is public cloud? Let's first see different types. There are majorly three types of cloud: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Now, there is another fourth kind that you can say, which is called a serverless deployment model. Right. Azure has added it on their website. That's why I have included this as well. But majorly, if you will see it, there are mostly three. It has been divided. The deployment models has been divided into three types, which is public, private, and hybrid. So public cloud is basically, so there is one cloud provided by some third party. Let's say the cloud has been provided by Google itself, right? So multiple different companies or multiple different organizer or end user can use the same cloud, but their data will be like very much different. Their network, their everything like VMs will be separated from each other, so they don't know like other companies has created their data or not. That means they can share the same cloud. The company will come and they will demand that I want to have my own account and I want to create some VMs and these kind of stuff. So yeah, you can come and create your VMs or storage account on the Google Cloud. You're okay to go, and that's why it is accessible to many users. Another thing is basically it is being managed by providers. So public cloud are mostly being managed by other providers, obviously, because it is being shared. So some of the providers that you have heard of, or if you don't know, they are basically Google or Microsoft. So Azure is being provided by Microsoft. So these are basically managed and being provided by third party providers. Another thing is private cloud. So private cloud is dedicated for one organization only. So the organization would have their own private cloud, or they will be using third party vendor to provide the cloud services to them, but that cloud is only being used by them only, right? So it is dedicated for one organization only. And why basically private cloud comes into picture? So let's say due to some security or compliance policies, some companies doesn't want to use the public cloud. That's why they come across the concept of private cloud, so that they can have more control and more security on their data and applications. The third one is basically hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is, as the name suggests, it consists of both public and private cloud, so that you can get benefit of both the public and private stuffs, right? Whatever benefit the public cloud provide and whatever benefit the private cloud provide, you can just have both of them in hybrid cloud, right? So it becomes more flexible, and it also becomes cost effective. So let's say in some of your application has been deployed in public cloud, and some of your application, for some of your application you are using private cloud. So it can be cost effective. You can just, on the basis of cost, you can decide that, or on the basis of different factor, you can decide that. Yeah, the third one is serverless. So this is very important. It can be called as you are not using any server. That's why it is called as serverless. But in the background, it is using server. What is happening here? It seems that when you will be using any serverless computing powers on cloud, you will see that you don't need to manage any server. You are just responsible for deploying your applications. If traffic increases, the serverless component will be able to handle all those traffic. If it increases, it will be able to handle that as well, right? And on the basis of that, like on the basis of increasing traffic and decreasing traffic, you will be charged. So you don't need to manage those servers. Now, types of cloud computing services. So cloud computing services basically include three different types. One is IaaS, the second one is PaaS, and the third one is SaaS. Infrastructure as a service. This one is platform as a service. And the last one is software as a service. As the name suggests, for the first model, right, for the first type of computing services, you will be provided the infrastructure, the bare metal components that you can say. Those components will be provided on the cloud. You just need to configure it, right? Let's say if you want to install some packages on that stuffs, or if you want to handle that, or you need to configure it according to your own use case, you can do those things. But it is basically IS, and we'll be seeing a very good diagram which can help you to understand what is IS. PaaS is a platform as a service. That means the platform has been provided. You just need to worry about your application and data. Rest of the things has been managed by cloud. The last one is software as a service. So software is as a service basically means your directly the software has been provided for you to use. uh, it has been provided you as a service, and you can directly use it. You don't need to worry about anything. So for example, we have your Gmail. Like we have Gmail, so we basically use the Gmail. We just need to know like how we can have our account in Gmail, and how we can start using it. We don't need to write code for that, right? So that's why it is called as software. The software has been made and it has been provided to you to use. You don't need to worry about anything else in that. So these are the three different computing services, types of computing services. Now I'll show you one diagram which is very important to understand. So here you can see these are the different major components which are basically responsible for any application, or let's say you can say if you want to create any software or anything like that. These are the major component. What are this? You need to handle the networking, you need to handle the storage, you need to have some servers, you need to do the virtualization if it is there or if it is needed. You need to have some operating system, you need to install some middleware, you need to have some runtime data or application. These are the bare minimum thing that is required if you want to have your own application for any organization, right? So when we were using our own data centers, right before cloud computing, so when we were using our own data centers, yeah, so you need to manage everything that is in green, right? You need to manage everything on your own. Nobody was managing it for you. You may need to hire some expert for these things, and they will manage it for you, right? But you had to manage everything on your own. Now, when IS services came, like on cloud, these three types of services are present on the cloud. So the first one is basically the virtualization servers. That is everything that is in red is basically being maintained by cloud, right? And everything that is in green is being like maintained by you. It's needed to be maintained by you. So virtualization, servers, storage, and networking in the IaaS model, you can say this is the IaaS model. In IaaS model, these four things are being managed by cloud. You need to worry about OS, like which kind of OS you want to use for your servers. Let's say you want to use Windows in some cases you want to use Linux, so you can just configure this on your own. Which middleware you want to use, what kind of runtime you want to use, and the data and application, all these things are being maintained by you in IaaS model. When we move to PaaS model, we have application and data. These two things are being managed by you. Rest all of the things are being managed by cloud itself. So PaaS is basically provide you with all the platform related things. You just need to worry about your application and the code that you write. In the SaaS model, we had taken the example of Gmail. Everything is done by cloud itself. Everything is being done by third party provided. You just need to use that software. So this is what cloud computing services. This is what different types of cloud computing services is. So this diagram is really important. You need to understand it. Yeah, if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you very much. That's all from my